In this podcast episode, Lewis Howes interviews Ed Catmull, the co-founder of Pixar Animation and author of Creativity Incorporated. They discuss the process of creating animated films, the challenges faced by Pixar, and the lessons Catmull learned from working with Steve Jobs. Catmull begins by talking about the early days of Pixar and the challenges they faced in making their first film, Toy Story. He explains that it took much longer than expected, but they were able to overcome the obstacles by building a strong team and fostering a culture of collaboration and innovation. He then shares 3 important lessons he learned from working with Steve Jobs. The first lesson is that when you're wrong, you need to change. Catmull emphasizes the importance of being open to new ideas and willing to admit when you're wrong. He also discusses how Jobs recognized that his own personality and power could sometimes hinder the creative process. The second lesson Catmull learned from Jobs is the importance of valuing every member of the team. He explains that at Pixar, they made a conscious effort to create a culture where everyone felt valued and respected, regardless of their position or role. This helped foster a sense of collaboration and creativity within the company. The third lesson Catmull learned from Jobs is the need to focus on the truth. He explains that Jobs valued people who would push back and challenge his ideas, as long as they were grounded in truth and honesty. Catmull shares his own experience of working with Jobs and how they would have discussions where they would challenge each other's ideas until they reached a resolution. Catmull also discusses the process of creating emotional connections with audiences through animated films. He explains that it's a collaborative effort that involves many different elements, such as storytelling, animation, sound design, and music. He emphasizes the importance of creating a cohesive and emotionally resonant story that connects with audiences on a deep level. He also talks about the concept of failure and how it is viewed at Pixar. He explains that while failure is a part of the creative process, they don't use the term failure very often. Instead, they focus on solving problems and finding solutions. Catmull believes that the fear of failure can hinder creativity and innovation, so it's important to create an environment where people feel safe to take risks and learn from their mistakes. Catmull shares his personal experiences of being moved to tears by Pixar films, particularly Toy Story 3 and Coco. He explains that these films were able to connect with audiences on an emotional level by telling powerful and relatable stories. He also discusses the importance of cultural authenticity in storytelling and how Pixar strives to accurately represent different cultures in their films. Catmull then talks about his background and how he became interested in computer graphics and animation. He talks about his early experiences at Lucasfilm and the challenges they faced in creating the first computer-animated film, Toy Story. He emphasizes the importance of collaboration and the need for a safe environment where people can take risks and make mistakes. Catmull explains that at Pixar, they have a unique approach to creativity. They believe that creativity is a collaborative process and that the best ideas come from a group of people working together. They have a culture of openness and honesty, where everyone is encouraged to speak up and share their ideas. This allows for a diversity of perspectives and leads to better creative outcomes. The conversation then shifts to the impact of Steve Jobs on Pixar. Catmull describes Jobs as a visionary leader who pushed the company to constantly innovate and improve. He shares stories about Jobs' attention to detail and his ability to inspire and motivate the team. Jobs had a deep understanding of the creative process and was able to provide valuable insights and feedback. Catmull also discusses the acquisition of Pixar by Disney and the decision to keep Pixar and Disney Animation as separate studios. He explains that this allowed for healthy competition and collaboration between the two studios, leading to even greater success. The two studios have different cultures and approaches to storytelling, and by keeping them separate, they were able to maintain their unique identities while still benefiting from each other's strengths. Throughout the conversation, Catmull emphasizes the importance of valuing the creative element and supporting the people behind the work. He believes that creativity is a fragile process and that it needs to be nurtured and protected. He talks about the importance of creating a safe environment where people feel comfortable taking risks and making mistakes. This allows for experimentation and innovation, which are essential for creative success. Catmull also highlights the need to focus on quality over quantity. He believes that it's better to have a few great ideas than a lot of mediocre ones. He encourages leaders to prioritize and make tough decisions about what projects to pursue and what to let go of. This requires a willingness to say no and a commitment to maintaining high standards. Another key lesson Catmull shares is the importance of spreading the ownership of success among different teams. He believes that success should not be attributed to one person or team, but rather to the collective effort of the entire organization. This creates a sense of ownership and pride among the employees and fosters a positive working culture. Towards the end of the podcast, Catmull is asked to share 3 lessons he would leave behind if he could no longer share his content. He emphasizes the importance of connection and collaboration with others. He believes that great ideas come from diverse perspectives and that it's important to seek out different viewpoints. Catmull also emphasizes the need to live according to one's values. He believes that it's important to have a clear sense of purpose and to align one's actions with their values. This leads to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Finally, Catmull talks about the positive impact one can have on the world. He believes that everyone has the ability to make a difference and that it's important to use one's talents and resources to contribute to the greater good. In conclusion, this podcast provides valuable insights into the creative process at Pixar and the leadership principles that have contributed to its success. Catmull's experiences and lessons offer inspiration and guidance for anyone looking to foster a positive working culture and make a meaningful impact in their field.